Welcome to Planet Pluto Shoot.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Whoop, whoop. Tango, tango, tango. Hey, hey, hey. What's happening? What's happening, good people? How y'all doing out there? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha, right? A.K.A. Kilo. That's right, guys. Coming to you live and direct from my house in Cleveland, Ohio, with none other than, there she is right there, my PNC, my partner in the Cosmetology. We are talking about the one and only Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle. And tonight it's about to go down. You know what I'm saying? This is about to go down. Yes, yes, yes. We're gonna have a wonderful, wonderful episode. I think this is like our let me make sure I got this right. I think we might be on episode 29. Let me make sure I got it right, because we going through these episodes like, you know, P. Diddy. No, I'm just I'm just being bad. Yeah, 29. We're on 29 episodes. That's right. I said we going through episodes like P. Diddy going through some holes in this house. Yeah, why they doing P. Diddy like that? Come on, y'all. Come on now, man. Come on. What's up? Luana? Why they doing Diddy like that? Tell you what to blow? Do what Diddy. But my thing. That's only Diddy I know. Do what Diddy. Poor Diddy.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
It's weird. I'm just like, you know, every time you turn around, hey, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Y'all ready? Sure, you're gonna love this one. Because all of this stuff, every time there's some type of fall of a great kingdom, or, you know, what do you call them? Kingdoms, or, you know, empire, you know what I'm saying? It's always the power of the P. You know what I'm saying? Juju, it's the power of the P that's always getting these brothers. You know, see, here's the thing. They just be thinking like, you know, I don't know why men just won't surrender. That women rule
resources. Their resource.
What is just surrender? Just let it go. I don't care if she Jenny from the block, if she a roundaway girl, you know, if she Project Pat, you know, don't save her if she don't want to be saved. They'll be the ones. Trust me. Hey, anybody that knows Ladosha, they'll tell that girl I'm from the hood, Juju. And I'm telling y'all, they used to call us hood rats and all kind. I'm like, but y'all steady coming to the hood, steady coming to the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, men need to go ahead on and just submit. Maybe you don't like the word surrender. Just submit and just let go. That women, you know, they just women, you know. Y'all can't be ruling nothing. Y'all think y'all gonna rule something with them penises. Y'all better put them things down and go somewhere. Go somewhere, sit down with that penis. Y'all just go some. It is not all that. I know y'all gonna find that hard to believe, but women is just not that impressed with penises. Okay, we will lie though. We will lie and say, ooh, you know. But it's just not that serious. It's just sex. I don't understand. But you know what? Our book of the month. Now, let me say this. Now I have been talking about this book, Juju. This is a book that you would this book right here, Cheryl. Imperial Leather. When I tell y'all, this sister right here, Miss Annie McClintock, when I tell you she did that damn thing, and she's showing y'all how they use race, gender, sexuality and all of this to create that thing called British imperialism. Jolly old child. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm telling y'all, this is I would say this. If you are a woman of color, I'm talking about from the motherland, which we all are at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yep.
If you don't have this in your collection, then shame on your African A double crooked letter.
I'm gonna go in my collection. If I ain't got it, I'm getting it.
Telling you right now, this book. It's some people coming through the chat. Let me just go ahead on. Tonight we're talking about mythology, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what Cheryl gonna bring. I came up with the whole thing, hair deities, just to be a little different. This podcast is specifically for licensed professionals, hair aficionados. So here we give it to you straight up, no chaser, right, Cheryl?
Straight up.
No chaser. No, you can't bite the lemon. Just straight up, no chaser. No water, no nothing, okay? This is America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. So here we go. Imperial Leather by my homegirl, Annie McClintock, all right? Here we go. All too often, Enlightenment metaphysics presented knowledge as a relation of power between two gendered spaces, articulated by a journey and a technology of conversion, the male penetration and exposure of a veiled female interior, and the aggressive conversion of its secrets into a visible male science of the surface. Now you can talk about Bacon. Y'all know who Bacon's rebellion is, right? Okay. This is what homeboy Bacon deplored the fact that while the religions of the material globe have been in our times laid widely open and revealed, the intellectual globe should remain shut up with the narrow limits of old discovery, voyaging into the enigma of infinity, there to unlock natures of secrets. New roads open to me. Shall I lie and pierce the veil that hides what we desire? Now, they taking you. It says knowledge of the unknown world was mapped as a metaphysics of gender violence, not as the expanded recognition of cultural difference. Do y'all hear what this woman is saying?
Come on. Say that again.
I'm gonna repeat it because I don't
Come on.
Think y'all feel me though. This
you gotta repeat that.
Knowledge of the unknown world. We talk about Africa, right? Okay. The unknown world was mapped. Think of all of the names of the places, y'all. All the name of them ships. Y'all know them, Clotilda. Come on now. Okay. Mapped as a metaphysics of gender violence. Not as the expanded recognition of cultural difference, and was validated by the new Enlightenment, right? Logic of private property and possessiveness individualism. Come on now. This book ain't for the faint at heart.
No.
It's about 450 something pages. When I first read this book, the first chapter, I read that motherfucker plucker for 3 days to just try to get it in. Like, what did I just read?
Right.
Now we got some books right here.
I always say, before you get the destruction of a cultural Africa, you have the destruction of a matrilineal ideology. You had to defeat that first. And that is to arrest the power, because you have to remember, and it's really a fascinating thing that Europe's women had to fight to be educated. Feminism, in terms of Black women, already were in charge of the collegiate and the higher knowledge, and already had those things.
They was killing their women. Their women didn't even want to be called women.
White women, European women, had to actually come to Africa to be liberated.
Come on now.
Sexism is first, before any racism.
Say it again. I don't think they heard you though.
Of females, the destruction of transferring wealth, power, and society, the kind of in charge of society. You had to destroy that first before you even got to any cultural racism.
Right. Yeah. She started off. Right. And she goes in that order: gender, then racism. This sister is bad. And then she said, let me just get this. I got to get this in. I got to get this one in. And so then she says, now remember, enlightenment logic of private property and possessiveness, individualism. There goes your slavery, okay? In these fantasies, the world is feminized, spatially spread for male exploration. This book right here, baby.
That's it.
This ain't about no battle of the sexes. No, this is the book of all books. It's a couple of books that we have been pushing here on this platform that we have asked you guys to get. And I've said off the rip, if you are a cosmetologist, a barber, if you don't have Style of Jim Crow, get off the platform. Stop talking all this crazy natural hair, bull, fragger, pagger, knackle, and get the freaking book and read for yourself what Black women did for the whole world of cosmetology while you're online talking about something. We don't need no, cut the game, all right? Next up, you just got to. It's imperative. If you love hair and you want to take it to the next level, you're tired of hearing the same old thing. Maybe you just want to know, is it more, or is it something calling in you? I know I'm missing something. Then if you don't have Dr. Willie Morrow's 400 Years Without a Comb, get off the chat because we ain't having that. If you are a scholar, an attorney, a baby mom, I don't care who you be. Don't be talking no crazy crap about no 4C hair and all human. We got this hair is hair. Stop saying this. Oh, white people called our hair nappy. Stop saying. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Now hold on, Keila, I go perpetrate the fraud. I used to be one of them. I did, and then until I met Cheryl, and she got us together. Okay. So these are books. You got to have these books. And then the third one, because this is all this particular podcast is for your licensed professionals. So style and status is going to give you all that that backdrop history of the connectedness of Style and Jim Crow. Because Jim Crow gonna just set the tone. I was able to shut down a law on Style of Jim Crow by my woulda wantsomes. By my woulda old wantsomes. My big brother Mo is in the chat. What's up, Mo? Style of Jim Crow. And that, so then you're gonna have style and status. You gotta have 400 Years Without a Comb. And then if y'all don't get nothing else off then you gotta come on with the Annie McClintock. Now, right here, now I'm going to tell y'all, you know how I reached out to Cheryl? Because you guys always asking us, like, well, how do I find the people? How do I, reach out to, these are real people. These are uppity. Oh, I have my PhD. Shut that up. I got time for that. Okay? Now, here's Cheryl is an heir to the man that made it possible for everybody in this shop to be able to comb their hair. But we up here, I finger comb. If you finger comb, okay.
One moment of silence for you.
Moment of silence for the finger combers.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay, that's enough. That ain't our history, y'all. And if you really kind of confused, what that song said, if you're really confused on what a is, you know what I'm saying? You need to, if you're a woman, for real. And if you are a man who's trying to understand what women are going through to just be, because even that word, like words like queen, what's up, queen? Don't be calling me no queen. Just call me Kilo. All these titles, that ain't us. people dressing up, and this is the female. It's not it. It's all made up. And if you want to
Well,
get a
but the
deep,
interesting thing is
come on with it.
Prostitute,
Ooh,
prostitute,
ooh.
queen, and all those things are always women who are rebels.
Mm.
See, if you do not have a man, you are seen as a rebel. So prostitute is a woman who doesn't want to be owned.
Come
So
on.
what they'll do is they'll change a woman. You're not a lady. See, a lady doesn't mind being owned.
My boo.
Right. So anything,
I'm hating.
any of your daughters that says, "Listen, Dad, I appreciate you, you know, spending all this money on my education. I think I'm gonna go my own way. I really appreciate it. I feel empowered. I'm good, by myself." She would be a prostitute 1,000 years ago.
Oh yeah.
She does right. That is where you get all
they try to use all these derogatory, like, you just a hoe. I'm like, you ain't hurt my feelings. I resemble that remark. Come on, bring it. I've been called better. I've been called. Trust me, baby. I done been called everything from skankadank to motherfucking bumsky dumb. I don't give a.
Well, most people and African scholars, have not either dealt with it, or they don't mention just even the reason why Hatshepsut had to go and drag. Like, why would she need to do that?
Yeah, I mean,
there's a reason why someone would impersonate something.
And brothers would not be having a lot of the problems that they're having if they would truly take the time to understand this imperial leather, because you really can't articulate some of the things that women are going through. And a lot of Black men are taking on the affects of the conquistadors. You know what I'm saying? They taking on and they saying things and doing things. Because I'm like you, Cheryl. Because y'all know it was the men that showed them how to get on them boats and get over here. Because a sister would have been like, drown, bitch. Find your own way.
Find out.
But a woman would have never been. I'm not about to show you how to get on. A woman would have been like, "No, boo boo, you'll figure it out." Okay.
At the end of the day, you would just have to, be on your own. But maritime is, that's why boats are females.
Oh, they don't want none. Oh, let me hit that bomb before we get to this topic.
Maritime is a feminine art form.
I don't think they hear you. I think they like, come on with the topic. We talking about mythology. This is how it's going down.
Mythology. So, it does. And let me just say this: excellent book. I do think that the gender issues is going to come to a head probably in the next 5 years, and I think that it is a problem.
Right. So if you really want to take your knowledge, your understanding of all of this stuff, this guys, I mean, I don't care what era you want to go in. I don't care what discipline. Please, I beg y'all, please get this book, Imperial Leather by Annie McClintock. And y'all know what I did, right? I went on ahead and reached out to her.
No!
Because y'all know King Lolo. I don't
talking about. That's what I
reached out to that sister.
That's what I'm talking about.
I reached out to her right here on Facebook. These are real people, real scholars who they're not really impressed with all of that. Yeah, I'm Dr. Ladosha. I mean, I'm not knocking it.
No. She wants real discussions. She spent a lot of time and hard work on that shit. She wants normal people to get this shit. She didn't
get it. And I'm just an everyday person. So I'm telling you guys, it is a tough read. It is so tough. It is so tough. And I don't mean like emotional. I mean, if you think you in a space where you just like, I'm telling you right now, you know what they say. Remember Wayne Dyer, may he rest in peace.
Yes.
Wayne Dyer used to have a statement, and he would say, those that irritate you most are your master teachers.
Yes.
this book will irritate that crack in your boot that inside your ear when you're trying to. This book, it will get it. It's gonna get it. So if you will,
I think one of the
yeah,
great films
yeah,
was
yeah.
Anthony Hopkins and Cuba Gooding Jr. And Cuba is a psychologist. It comes into a prison, and that's the scene where Anthony Hopkins literally is about to slit his throat, and the tears come out of his eyes, and he says, "What did I take from you?" And the whole scene ends up. Cuba Gooding Jr. says, "You took away my illusions," and he says, "Okay," and he patted him on the back. "Okay, so I took a little ego from you, but the point of the matter is that was his master teacher." At that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. And sometimes we have to disturb those spaces. And this platform, Planet Pluto Pseudo, it is truly not only to disturb, but for you guys to put in place what belongs there. And that is the truth.
Yes.
The truth, it is what it is. We need not go there, and we're not always right and we're not always wrong. You don't have to like it. We're always open for discussion. Tonight is all about mythology, the role it plays in hair, and it's going to be a wonderful discussion. And as we talk about imperial leather, that whole imperialism of trying to be and match up and blaming and all this other stuff. I don't know if you guys are aware, but about a couple of weeks ago, last month, we traveled to Atlanta to help begin, with their struggles of trying to save the, as Cheryl calls it, the high métier of cosmetology. We want cosmetologists to be educated. We want to raise the bar. And so we fought off the first House bill, right? And then they came back with another Senate Bill 354, which unfortunately it did pass. Okay, so that's a thumbs down for Georgia.
But they did took out, but it would tell them what they took out.
They took out. They say now you can blow dry, but you can't flat iron and you can't use the curling irons. So what we're gonna do is
what's going to happen to that, right?
Yeah, you already know how that's gonna go. So I got some reels that when we talk about imperial leather and why you must read this book. When you watch these two clips, I guarantee you're gonna go over to Amazon or wherever your bookstore is, and you're gonna buy the book. But first, let's talk about what this politician had to say. Y'all get ready, chat, about a real Dominican. You ready, Cheryl? A real Dominican. A real Dominican hair salon.
Half of the people in this room may know what Dominican hair salons are. Half of you may not. A Dominican hair salon is when you go, and they call it a Dominican hair salon because it is a form of hairstyling that came from the Dominican Republic. These people, a lot of them, are not cosmetologists. They're blow drying your hair, and the way they blow dry your hair, you can also curl it. This bill means that these people, women, men from the Dominican Republic, legal immigrants, if they want to go into this blow drying business, now they don't have that upfront cost of the education.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
That's
ridiculous.
I can't believe, but then I can, because when I read Imperial Leather, this poor Black woman, I mean, you just want to grab somebody by the weave and snatch her up and call her all kind of N words. Are you crazy? You called them these people. You're saying things like they have the blow drying. They know how to curl. I mean, what is wrong? What is happening? That is just so, words can't even describe That's just deplorable. And the Dominicans, this is the job. These are the jobs they want for your immigrants. Did you hear what she said? They want the immigrants to get low paying jobs, blow drying nappy heads.
Well, and let me just say this. I just thought about it, how, and I know that this is really circuitous, but so you have the birth of the natural hair care world, right? Or the natural hair care movement. And then all of a sudden, we have this burst of chemical and cancer, relaxers, and things of that nature. Correct. And now all of a sudden, things are centered around a natural way to straighten Black people's hair. I don't think the lobbyists or anyone wants Black women to go back to the salon in a professional way. I think it's something there
that just to make cosmetology a Black thing, as if no other races or ethnic, whatever word they, because you got to read Imperial Leather, and you'll watch them words like ethnic and tribe. You know, y'all love them words, tribe, ethnicity. Mm-hmm. Read Imperial Leather, you're going to think twice about them words, but they still exist. I'm not going to, but how could they take that service and make it a Black or a textured? It's implied. They're not saying it. Because
heat is being embraced while chemicals are being vilified.
Oh.
Do you understand? It's a sleight of hand. So all of a sudden, heat is a better vehicle because its heat is still akin to natural hair. This whole lack of innovation, lack of technology, lack of chemical technology back into the service ability in cosmetology could very well, can you imagine a straightener like Dr. Morrow's texture enhancement? Can you imagine it being the version of the iPhone or the Tesla of the beauty world? Well, that directly does not have white hands in it yet. What white hands do have, or white pockets or wallets do have an equity hold on, is these stupid founding dumb brands called natural hair care brands like Mael and all these oils and all this craziness. But now they want to keep hold of these, the heat thing. They got something going on with the heat thing. Well, heat can be naturally propelled into the economic engine, and I know it's just hit me in terms of my mind, but it's always being some way to lower the quality of it, so therefore to rush them because it's all about
as if heat styling is easy. Right. As if it's like that. That's
but it's less skill set in it. So therefore, we can just let anybody do it.
Yeah. Right. Especially not anybody, especially the immigrants is the operative word here.
Right.
They have these little chain salons and those blow dry bars that no American wants to work, because Americans, we about them Benjamins, right? P. Diddy. And they said, no, that's why we locking Diddy up. Okay, we trying to threaten or whatever they're trying to do to him. We don't want y'all to have Benjamins. So you know what? Y'all going over there. We're going to let these Dominicans, these immigrants, get these jobs. And that's how it goes. So let's give out some super duper shout outs before we hit that next reel. What's up, LB? I see you in the chat. Juju, I always love to see you come through because I love them pseudo killers, which, by the way, you must go over to the community of skeptics. You must go over to the pseudo killers. Just click on Juju's name and you will see all the goods This is where I get my inspiration from. I love this woman right here, and her name is Julanda Zachary, and she is a part of the pseudo killers. And I'm gonna tell you, y'all don't want none of that smoke. They bring on the experts. They had a gentleman on there last week talking about mental health and with a unique twist to it. It was absolutely phenomenal. I stay up all night and I just absorb this stuff. I got my cousin Nene Boo Boo was in the chat. What's up, Anitra? My big brother Shan. My homegirl Free Natalie at SBCglobal.net. What's up? Free. Oh, we got a new cousin. Weekend, what's happening? What's happening? Everybody, welcome. We get a big round of applause when we get a new cousin that comes to the chat. We're so glad to see you. We got Weekend is in the house. What's happening? What's happening? We hope you come back and check us out. And then who else was up here in the chat with us? We got okay, so that's everybody in the chat. Oh, Ernisa. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, live, work, clean. Oh, my girl. Hold on. We got people up in here. We got Selena AG. That's the winner. She won.
Oh,
and
yes, right.
Lena also won too. And what's going on? Grand risings to you, Miss Anissa. We have a wonderful, wonderful podcast. Our 29th episode is all about mythology. We're going to have a wonderful chat. So let's go ahead on and get with the second reel. Now, you talked about that heat thing, right? So we gave you guys a real Dominican hair salon. So how about we give them some real policing of heat? Because that's the whole thing, right, Cheryl?
Oh, yeah.
They're really concerned about the heat. So here we go, guys. We're going to show you a real way to police heat. You're going to love this one, Ernisa. Don't leave. Here we go. The real way to police curling irons.
The other thing I will say is I'm really happy that the amendment passed where it does not include curling irons. It does not include flat irons. My original amendment actually said 300 degrees or less. We could not put a temperature in the bill because how do you police a temperature? But you can police a curling iron or a flat iron.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I mean, 300 degrees of heat can't even straighten out your pubic hairs. And by the looks of her hair, good Lord, 8 nickels. I can't. Did y'all, I don't think they heard. Let me play that for y'all one more again. They probably missed that. Here we go. One more. The real way to police curling irons.
The other thing I will say is I'm really happy that the amendment passed where it does not include curling irons. It does not include flat irons. My original amendment actually said 300 degrees or less. We could not put a temperature in the bill because how do you police a temperature? But you can police a curling iron or a flat iron.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
But what? Help me. Can y'all help?
Now, I wanted you guys to, did you hear the word she used is police?
I know.
Now, that is very telling because you don't police shit. You just regulate it or you dysregulate it. Right? But she used police. And how do you police something that you're getting ready to unregulate? Right? You don't police the shit now. You're only policing regulations and violations. They are not going to follow that shit. They are once you blow dry, tell them to go to the next salon. Or you got to go sit into a cosmetologist's chair now.
To get it straightened out.
How the hell are you going to police just deregulating something, but you want to keep something? That is a task force nightmare. And in any bill that they deregulate, you notice that you don't ever hear the money for the task force. How are you going to enforce it? You have to have a whole new, because at the end of the day, you're doing it from the political process without even, because you don't have any board or cosmetology on the state level standing next to you, giving
That's
you
what our
and
Arnisha said they can't enforce it and she knows it. And then Wike says she can't be serious, but she
right,
is.
right. So here, once again, when we get into not as we dovetailed from mythology to plantation, the politics, and I'm sure it is somehow mentioned in Imperial Leather, but once you start policing blackness, that is part and parcel of the problem. Legislating blackness, regulating blackness, and regulating culture.
Mm.
White folks need to. Racism is expensive.
And let me just, here we go. Here we go. Imperial Leather, women as the boundary markers of empire. We can't make this up. Cheryl don't know what the French toast I got over here in this house. Now you heard what she just said, right? So here we go. Imperial Leather, please listen, my brother is in the chat, right? My brother and I, me and my brother, we rocked this book all the way to Baltimore. He would tell you, he was like, read that again, don't you? I said, read it again. I'm like, hold on, brother. And we were just politicking all the way there, all the way back, not making this up. My brother's in the chat. He will tell you. Here we go. As Europe, to Cheryl's point, okay, about women and all this, okay, as European men cross the dangerous thresholds of their known worlds, they ritualistically feminize borders and boundaries. Female figures were planted like fetishes at the ambiguous points of contact at the borders and orifices of the contest zones. Sailors abound wooden female figures of their ships, prows, W's, and baptize their ships as exemplary thresholds and of objects with female names. Didn't Cheryl just tell y'all that?
Yeah.
This sister right here, she bad. And they always got the woman with her breast on. Look at that Rolls Royce. Y'all see her with her breast all like
one of my new fascinations is the Cadillac Celestic. And the Celestic is a goddess.
Ow!
And she is erect. And she is flying forward just like the wings of and here you go again. I mean, Europa is named after, an African essence of what womanhood is. Europa, Iruopa.
Ow!
And so just their whole fascination, and it is definitely interesting to get into the theater of their mind inside this book.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to keep chopping this book up, but let's get started with some mythology, okay? Now, I thought this might be a good way. This is the last, week of the month of March, which is Women's History Month. And I just thought, let's be different because I'm Key Lolo, I like to do different things. And I said, let's talk about some of these deities and their relations to hair and beauty, overall beauty, not specifically hair. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of these deities. And by all means, if you know anything about them, any information, could you please share that in the chat, either post the live or during the live. If you want to come in, I will drop the link in the chat. We got a few minutes. We're going to not take you guys too far over. We only have 3 deities, but Cheryl's going to help us kind of get through them a little bit. But I will drop the link in the chat just in case you want to come in and help us. This is a very different topic for me. I don't know anything, honestly, about mythology except Pandora's All I know is Pandora. I'm fine. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm telling on myself. So the link is in the chat if you want to join us in. Just let us know. But let's start off. This is the one that my field instructor when I was in college. Right, whenever I would do something that was pretty smart, she would always say, "Well, all righty, mighty Aphrodite," and I'm like, "What?" I never heard of Aphrodite. So in my mind, Juju, I'm thinking like Afro, she dighty mighty. So come to find out, there is a true goddess named Aphrodite. So Cheryl, I want to show a clip, just a little bit about Aphrodite, and then can you just take us through a little bit about what are these goddesses, now are about, and of course we're going to kind of merge this a little bit with hair. We don't want to force it, but where it's befitting, we'll make it fit. So let's start off with the mighty Aphrodite, guys.
Born from the foam of the sea, Aphrodite was the Greek goddess of physical love. Aphrodite was frequently depicted wearing a particular hairstyle, here called the Aphrodite knot. This knotted hairstyle is also depicted on numerous ancient portraits of anonymous women, as in these examples from around 50 BC.
And so before we go a little bit more into Aphrodite, I just want to say this. If you've been rocking with Cheryl and I for a while, we've always had this conversation about, the whole straight hair. Everybody wants this long, straight hair. And Cheryl has shared with us on several occasions that when you look at images in antiquity, you will all, especially coming out of Europe, you really don't see that much straight hair. And so when I was doing a little research about, deities, and I came across this little clip about Aphrodite's hair and having these curls, and I was like, that dang on Cheryl, because she asked us to kind of envision hair, during these periods, and they do have texture in the hair, and so this whole as if all white people have straight hair or they wore straight hairstyles. Here you can see in this Greek mythology, here is a goddess, Aphrodite. She's the goddess of love. And you see that her hair played a very important part of the depiction of who she is. So with that being said, talk to us a little bit about mythology, and so we can all just kind of understand what our mythology is all about, in your opinion, and so on and so forth.
From an African perspective, the symbiology, iconology, anthropology, anthropomorphism is very important because, of course, Greece wanted to align, and that's a very important word, wanted to align itself with the principalities of African societies, or at least the ones that they encountered. So when you see the essence of a Greek associations with femininity, African femininity, you can tell that they were African if they are full figured, or something that is matrony and connected to something. You can't have the wealth of Europe without having goddesses or deities or anything connected to African womanhood, without having a very full figured, rich, peaceful, harmonious looking woman. Now, of course, before Greece, there was obviously probably inner Africa dealing with maybe Aphrodite akin to Yoruba, or a Nigerian Ibu, or just Nile Valley. But when you do see full figured, even Nile Valley women, they are a symbol of wealth and prowess. So but the mythology is the mythology comes in with the European depiction and the translation as they begin to write about it. We were not uh, necessarily connected to the personage or the personification of what a principle is.
It's
That's
funny how you talked about the robustness of the woman, the voluptuousness or whatever. I know before I went to Jamaica, I hope Frida's still in the chat. This is a true story, all right. So Frida and them are like very like they're size 8 girls. And so I was like, I gotta lose some weight before I go to Jamaica. And Frida was like, no, don't lose weight. And I was like, why not? She says, no, you cannot lose weight. They like thicker women in Jamaica. Now, here in America, we're always on a diet. We all want to be that size 8 or 9 or whatever. Here I am, a very chunky but funky 18, 20. And I'm like, well, no, really 22. And I'm like, nah, at least got to get down to like at least a 16. They were like, no. So her and Sherry, which is Frida's best friend, it's like, no, don't lose weight, right? And so when I got to Jamaica, to your point about this whole robustness, now I'm not saying all Jamaican men like big women. I don't want y'all to come after me in the chat. I'm just saying my experience. And so, and as it relates to Cheryl's comment about the whole voluptuousness of these goddesses, but when I got over there, let me just tell you, I was Halle Berry for 2 weeks. And so what is it with the voluptuousness of your understanding of the whole
it's the same thing when you see Greek deities or you don't really know if the Greek those deities actually ever lived, but
right.
the voluptuousness of the hair, the curling of the hair, you'll see most Greeks don't have very flat, straight hair going to their shoulders. All the hair is going upward. It's because it's a sign of vitality. But it's in it, and in it, it's kind of ironic that the European modeling fashion world goes thin and skinny, but that is not their history. Their history is very thick, full, but it is always this connecting them to the fullness and richness. A very full-figured, large woman is not about her physiology. It's about the wealth of the region, the wealth of her people. It's not the fact that they are trying to, grandize being, overweight or anything. It has nothing. It is a psychological symbol of rich, resourced, harmonious, happy, wonderful, balanced, healthy woman. And it's about the resources of the land, the people, the men and the women and the children. It's a symbol, and that's why they keep calling it mythology, because there's something hidden behind the actual icon. Aphrodite.
All right, that's pretty good. Now, what would be pretty?
And you are talking about pH. You're not talking about AFRO.
Yeah, not Afro. Yeah, I know from the projects, right? Okay, so what I want you guys to do is, Cheryl, can you show them how they can help us change the narrative about our understanding of mythology when it comes to just beauty beyond hair, guys? Show them how to do that right now, Cheryl. Here we go, guys. Oh, wait. Sorry, Cheryl. All right, the chat is getting full. So come on, guys, and show us some love. Hit the thumbs up button that y'all rocking us out in the chat. Now, again, Cheryl had, no clue of what I'm talking about, what I have on the side here in the screen. So I'm going to go up next. But here is what Maurice has to say. Mythologies are parables, not really based on facts. And what he learned from myths is not to make the mistakes Greek gods made. Many of them were arrogant and sadistic. Okay, bro. All right, Maurice. Is Maurice telling the truth? Is that proof for truth, or is he kind of exaggerating that a little bit?
I think that the exaggeration, which can come from arrogance,
Okay.
but here we go again. The root of it all is to secretly, mythically, and mystery, in a mysterious way, to align themselves with something that is what they call in the African continent a matrilineal archetype. It's something that remains true throughout the ages of time. So I agree.
Okay. All right. Hold on, Bromo. It runs in the family. If he would have been wrong, I would be like, that ain't none of my brother. So let's get up for my brother. Maurice is in the house. I'm telling you, I got the best brothers on the planet. All right. So Cheryl just made a very poignant statement about mythology and how they borrow the stuff, from Mama Africa. So here is another take on a gentleman's right here on YouTube. And here's his takes on the many names of Almighty Isis. Here we go, guys. They too young. If y'all know about that Almighty Isis, drop that Isis in the chat. If y'all know about the Almighty Isis, y'all might be too young.
The image we have of Isis is one that has been coloured heavily by ancient Greco-Roman perceptions. The goddess known as Aset wove her magic through Egyptian culture for millennia before the Greeks and Romans adopted her into their own religious systems, reinterpreting and renaming her as Isis. This Greco-Roman form is the common image we have inherited of Aset today, in part because this period of time, 332 BCE to 395 CE, was when her cults were at their most widespread both within and beyond Egypt. On the other hand, however, such reinterpretations have perpetuated a Mediterranean portrait of Aset, following the antiquarian trend of claiming Egyptian heritage for Eurocentric narratives of history.
Claiming this for Eurocentric narratives of history. That's pretty powerful. Now, I'm going to admit, I did not know that Isis and Aset were kind of overlapping and exchanged and borrowed, but I did not know that Aset was first. So, do you know anything about Aset? And because that's where Isis comes from. I knew about Almighty Isis, but I didn't know anything about Aset until this. I'm just for myself until I watched the Pseudo Killers. Okay, and this is why I asked you guys to go and check out Julanda and them over there because they're going to help out a lot more than I can. But what do you know anything about Aset?
I do know that probably most, but here's the dialect is important. Just because your cousins, the Greeks.
You mean the Greeks as in Alpha Phi Alpha?
Well, just African. You are the gamut.
What about the AKAs? Them Greeks, AKAs, Alpha Phi Alpha, Omega Phi Phi, not them Greeks. Them the only Greeks I know.
All that is based on African philosophy. But let me just say this. I think that we would like to put things first, second, as it's human nature, first, second, third, fourth. But when you are just talking about dialect, some people will use AUS and some would use ISI to mean the same thing. Now, dialect also tells you geographically where something comes from. But I do think Aset is probably more Nile Valley and then of course Isis is Greek, but it doesn't. I don't know if they're the two different. It's just like Nefertari, Nefertiti. It's almost like adjectives.
Okay.
Osset describes a different essence of state, of presence. Could be Madame versus Mademoiselle. Could be one is older. Cleopatra 1, Cleopatra 2. It's always a different. I don't know if it's a different person.
Mm-hmm.
Europe tends to personify things, and then it makes you think that they were. But these are much more based on principles, because guess what? Rome, especially, and Greece, before them, they always
I think
want to be
I think his
heavily
comment.
resourced. Go ahead.
I think his comment that Europe has this propensity to kind of take things and just kind of make it, their own, like they're not giving any precursors or acknowledgement that, you kind of have to find out. Like I never heard of Osset growing. I'm not saying, I'm just talking about myself. I had never heard of Osset.
Right. There's a period of when you discover it. But let me just say this. African knowledge has always been there. And I do think because we are educated in the Western world, we're educated with their stuff first. But think about Greek people in the BC era. They were so amazed. I mean, you would do that too. I mean, you have to, their societies to civilize and evolve their societies, you would do what your parents have done. That makes sense. I don't know if they were basically stealing it for the sake of stealing it.
Okay, I'm being a hater. Y'all know Kilo.
You have to evolve.
They have to
evolve some way, and you use your parents, your genetic parents. You use older cultures to create yours. They had none.
Right.
So, and I think that them changing the dialect to Isis from As is just part of
the course. Yeah, I get it. Okay. All right, so I'll be a little, don't need no hateration. All right, hateration, but that's what this podcast is all about. This is the 29th episode of You're on Planet Pluto Pseudo, and we are all about hair, myths, and Afro cosmetology. So Juju says myths are also used, in addition to what Maurice said, to convey morals and cultural views of a society. So there's another understanding about myths. About myths, and they're not what we not necessarily all about stealing per se, but as Cheryl says, cultures borrow things, and then of course you got to take into account language and all this stuff that we just don't think about. We're just we was number one. Cheryl says stop saying that. It's not about that, okay? So have you ever made drawn on some correlations or some connections between mythology and cosmetology? Because after all, cosmetology is the Greek word. So can we just get into that? I know it's getting a little late, but let's take a deep dive into the Greeks' cosmetology.
One is cosmet is to form, cosmo is to think. Okay. And I think cosmetologists are the ones who created this absolutely incredible hieroglyphics, the carvings, all of the colors, creating and interior decorating all of those fabulous homes.
It's funny you should say that, because there's a tablet of Narmer that was like a makeup tablet that kind of revealed, hey, let's drop the bomb for that dang on Cheryl Morrow, because she be kicking up on this deep thing. Okay, you learn something new every day. So keep going. I just was like, wow.
So when you see in the law of observation, which all cultures do, you take something and you take it and you form it into a pattern. Let's just say no one has ever really in science seen a DNA strand, but cosmetologists will take a mental picture and take something and put it onto form and to put it into a shape. And that's what we call geomancy. Nature does it very well. It will put a set of mathematical patterns and occurrences. And then what does that look like? Cosmetology is extremely a part of us being able to see the cosmo world, which is the causal realm, the invisible. And then that imagination puts it onto form, and that there you have cosmetology or cosmeticals. It just depends on the dialect. Here we go again.
Right, here we go
Create
again.
words, and then they cut them off and chop them up, and then you have cosmetology. And I'm sure it was called, basically something else in the intercore of Africa, I'm sure. But different languages, and the different languages don't come first, and first don't mean better. But just for the lack of the racist conversation, the racist paradigm allows us to always measure something like Europe. And it's very hard for us to get out of our European thought process.
I know I ain't gonna lie, I always want to be, I root for everybody black. I gotta stop doing that shit.
Well, you're educated in the Western world. You have to put something bad or good, less or than, top or bottom. You can't think out into a very Afrocentric way that they all have meaning and value at the same time. It's very hard to get
okay, well, in the infamous words of George Jetson, Jane, stop this crazy thing. All right, what y'all know about that George Jefferson? Okay, my brother Maurice had this to say. He said Alexander the Great had a fascination with African culture and adopted many of their cultures and dialects. Maurice, Maurice, who taught you all this talk right? He must got a chat GPT over there.
Oh, well, the first European university, the first European city is on the continent. The two greatest cities, European cities, are not in Europe.
What?
They're not in Europe.
Again. Hold on. Come on now, dog.
So when
wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. You know what I got to do? She said the two European cities is not in Europe. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. The two European cities is not in Europe. And I say,
what you talking about,
what is you talking about, Cheryl? How is it going to be in Europe? It's in Europe. It can't be in Europe and be someplace. So that just don't make no kind of sense.
Well, when people say, let's just say people like Alexander the Great, he's European, but he's not European educated. We're African of descent, but we're European educated.
I can't stand you. She made me sick. You know what? She be right. Share, drop the hammer. Y'all drop the hammer in the chat for Cheryl.
Alexander didn't know anything else but Africanness. He was a white man that was educated in Africa. We're black people educated in America. We think like Europeans. He was a white person that thought like an African. He didn't learn anything else. Socrates, all of them. We think that their philosophies are so fabulous. Of course they're fabulous to Europeans because they were educated in Africa. Alexandria is in where?
Hold on, Juju. Wait, Juju. Alexandria is in Africa. I thought it was Greek. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Who you say is Alexandria? I didn't know. This is why we have this podcast, okay? So that we can just be, whoa, that's kind of, That's kind
Well,
of
Alexander the Great had to be indoctrinated with European history. Or maybe he never did. You don't ever know. Because there was no payoff to create a European concept until you get into in that area. What's the payoff of making up shit as you go? Just go on down there and go down there to the black folks and get it. Shit, what is the payoff? I mean, arrogance and ignorance. Now, once you become enlightened, yeah, we already know because black people do it. The moment they get hit in the ass with a book, they get superior. So we said that to say what?
I read Imperial Lover for your information. Well, I'm kind of.
My point is, Carthage.
This is very deep.
Carthage is in Africa. It's in Tunisia. Tunisia is in Africa. It's on the continent of Africa. Those two cities were great empires built on African ideology and philosophy. That's why you have the first and oldest socio-political economic relationship is between an African queen and a European emperor. The old relationship. That was politics. White men knew they had to get that power from black women. They knew
that, right? They knew that. All right. So here we go. Some more imperial leather. Now, Cheryl, don't know I'll be making this stuff up now. Okay. The first point I want to make, this was my homegirl, Addie McClintock. Let me put my microphone close. I always want to rap. The first point I want to make, however, is that the feminizing of the terra incognita was from the outset a strategy of violent containment, belonging in the realm of both psychoanalyst and, here we go, political, give it to Cheryl, economy. At first glance, the feminizing of the land appears to be no more than a familiar symptom of male megalomania, Donald Trump. It also betrays acute paranoia and a profound, if not pathological, sense of male anxiety, boundary loss. Sure, I'll be on that. I'll be on that kryptonite. I don't want none of that. We're trying to teach y'all something here over on planet Pluto Pseudo. What we are out here in the world, bickering and beating up ourselves on and arguing about stuff we don't know nothing about. So here, well, for me, I did not know how these places were in Africa. I did not know all this stuff about these. I don't know nothing about Alexander the Great. I ain't gonna even perpetrate. And so I didn't know he got all his knowledge up in them parts, you know what I'm saying? But that's why we are here to know all of this. And everybody is in the chat. And a lot of you guys know a lot of this stuff, and I don't. And so this is why we're here. So let's get one more before we wrap this up. This chat is definitely on fire. All right. So here we go. Now this one, I ain't gonna lie. I do know a little bit about Medusa. You better not look at her. I mean, y'all know we have to end it on Medusa, And so I had made up my own stuff about. I always thought Medusa was like a black woman because of the whole curly, the snakes and everything. So to me, it was like I felt like they was picking on black women with Medusa, but I didn't know nothing about Medusa. So here we go. I mean, I know about Medusa, but back then. So here we go. Here's a little bit more on Medusa.
She blamed Medusa for desecrating her immaculate temple. Athena told Medusa that she, with her exuberance and vanity, had caused men to harass her. Athena could not control her fury against Medusa, so she decided to punish her forever, and so the goddess turned her into a monstrous and horrifying being, just like her sisters. In addition, Aphrodite took advantage of the occasion and transformed her beautiful hair into poisonous snakes.
That damn Aphrodite ain't mighty no more. Aphrodite, she be on that kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? She hating. Aphrodite done turned Medusa's hair into snake. What's up with these heifers in this mythology? So I know you can't answer this question, but am I wrong? With the whole Afro hair and the snake thing, I'm just, I just want that's my own personal thing. You know what I'm saying? So take it away, Cheryl. A little bit more to Medusa. I was a kid, so when I saw there was this, I forgot what was the name of the movie where the man had to go and catch the Medusa's head and show it to the thing. Y'all remember that movie back in the 70s? It was real popular. You know what I'm talking about. Anywho, my brother gonna drop it in the chat. But to me, it just, I don't know. I was a kid, but anywho, go ahead.
Right. Well, the head, the head area of the human body is supposed to be your electromagnetic field, your aura, your field. Here we go again in terms of mythology. A well-behaved, docile Aphrodite. What do you do with a woman who rebels, who is headstrong?
Having sex. So because somebody liked her and had a little sex with her, they turned her hair into snakes. So I'm not the only one, because hold up right quick. Arnisa said, Clash of the Titans, that's it. Come on through. Somebody was up watching that stuff. Thank you so much. But Arnisa says, underlying racism, even in mythology, the dreadful locks. Yeah. Here you go. Juju said the same things, or dreadlock. So yeah, okay. So I anywho, I wasn't too far off a little bit, but so that was the movie. She is right. It was the Clash of the Titans, where the man had to slay the dragon or whatever. Anyway, he had to get Medusa's head to kind of stop this thing from. And I was like, is that like a black woman? And I just, anywho.
Well, let me just say this. Let me give you another, just another perspective to look at it. It is not, the snake is not akin to hair.
It said it turned her hair into Aphrodite, turned her hair into snakes.
But the snake is not akin to hair. Now you have to remember, Aphrodite is docile.
She a hater, but anywho.
Okay.
Well, how's she docile when she doing this kind of mean-spirited stuff?
Took the hair, and so you're supposed to be, now remember, you're supposed to be glory, right? And you're supposed to be docile, and you're supposed to be a thing of beauty. But when she decided to go with her nature, and she wanted to express herself, and she wanted to be a woman, we made sure that in the mythology, we akin that to being bad, right? And so the story turns her glory into snakes because she wanted to be human, right? And that is where the myth, because the hair was turned into snakes. What are snakes in mythology? Come on, Black people. What is snakes akin in African mythology?
What are snakes? I don't know. Come on in the chat. Oh, Juju is like, she on that kryptonite. Juju like, come on, Cheryl. Hold on, wait a minute, Cheryl. Juju in the chat. She like, come on, Cheryl. Drop the motherfucking bomb tonight.
Now,
what is snakes? Nobody, hold on.
Snakes.
It's a delayed reaction. Wait a minute, because it takes them a few minutes to get it. All right, so we're talking about Medusa's hair. To me, I felt like, the snakes were just like a way I, as a kid, interpreted that as shaming, Black women's hair. That was what I thought. So Juju says the snakes depends. Sometimes the snakes represents evil.
Okay.
Okay. Oh,
Right.
wait, we got one more. Knowledge. I didn't know that. Okay. Snake in the grass. Okay.
Okay.
Shan said evil. Okay. So we have knowledge and evil and this is in the African meaning of
Okay, so
snakes.
right. So let me just draw all of this to where we, because see, you guys are saying the same thing. And so what did God tell Adam? He never told Eve. He didn't tell Eve. He told Adam.
Don't eat the apple.
And who told Adam to eat the apple?
Eve. Oh, the snake.
The snake. Now you have to remember, and I want you guys to understand that God never or rarely spoke to Eve. Why?
Don't be breaking my feelings right now, sure. I'm already one hairline away from
So consciousness, to know the duality. Females own that realm. Consciousness. That's why God never intervened between Eve and the snake. He never got into all that because that was the same portal of communication. So the point is.
Oh, wait, are you saying if God would have been talking to Eve, God would have been talking to himself?
Right.
Ah, you better shut the.
He never spoke to Eve.
Shut the front door.
He never spoke to Eve. He didn't tell Eve anything. He read.
What you talking about, Will?
You have to remember in Kemet, Mahen is the coiled one. The coiled one and God are the same thing. So consciousness comes through the feminine. Then it goes to Adam, which is the male, the masculine part of the same person. My point in saying why they would turn this beautiful glory white, this goddess, right, who is so pleasing. And then once this woman decides that she's on her own and she's going to make decisions and she's going to go into her sacral and she's going to be a woman and she's going to get sex and all of this, that is a setup to make sure that, and then they turned them to snakes because she became what? Conscious. But you guys think snakes, there's snakes all in African culture. I mean, snakes are one of the oldest zoomorphic forms in African spirituality ever. I mean, in the 10 Commandments, everything gets turned into a damn serpent, It's consciousness. And that's why you had Medusa. But the root word is muse. So you guys go look up, what does a muse do?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me look it up. I don't want to cook it up. What she'll say? Don't cook it up. Look it up. Muse. It's Greek too. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, guys. Can I share the screen just to help everybody kind of get a feel for this? Let me just share it right quick. Here we go. Share screen. Muse. How do you do this stuff? Muse. In Greek and Roman mythology, each of 9 goddesses, the daughter of Zeus and Menomosine, who preside over the arts and sciences. You know what, Judy? Judy, you better stop it, Judy. What? I ain't never heard of this in all of my music life.
So a muse inspires you to have
everybody knows. Hold on, I'm feeling some kind of way. How in the hell does everybody in the chat know what a damn muse is except I've been neglected. shit growing up. I didn't know. Luana. Okay. The muse ruled the arts and created. I never knew this. Oh my God.
That's where museum comes from.
I'll see y'all later. Bye. I love this platform. I just want to touch the hem of Cheryl's.
And at the end of the day, it all comes from the cosmetic art of form and muse and museum. It's all the same feminine energy. And so you have the personality of a woman. She can be a muse, a Medusa, or she can be quite docile and soft. And that is the symbolism behind Medusa. Medusa is akin to the fire. Ra had to trick her Sekhmet. Very out of control kind of warrior, hothead, very fiery. The fire trucks actually is painted in Sekhmet colors, orange, white, and yellow. They call her the siren, vixen or siren. But that's Muse, that's Medusa.
You better slap Cheryl. Come on, drop them hammers. And I'm going to get a thing. Shan, we about to get one that say hammer time, okay? I got to make a little clip. So when we say hammer time, y'all got to drop the hammers in the chat because that was a hammer time knowledge right there. Me and my brother going to be like, I'm with you, Shan. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Here we go. You will hear about some of the best creators speaking on having a muse or someone, usually a woman, that was inspirational. Okay. My brother says, I was wondering that because I thought Muse was sort of a con man. Okay.
The greatest fashion designers of the world had Muse.
All right, Juju.
Armani was Iman. Oh no, Givenchy.
Givenchy. Okay, go. Hold on. We gotta give it up for Juju in the chat. Juju with your bad self. Juju, you be on that kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't know all of this. You know what I'm saying? So cosmetology now has a more richer.
That's Europe's love affair with black people. Black people served as muses for that's Isis. That's the date. That's all we're talking about. Is that's what cosmos. That's what Sirius, the constellation Sirius. That's why they have all these names is because of the musings of African beauty, but they keep it in mythology so it just doesn't resonate with you and you don't have an aha moment, so therefore you don't have any other you can't put two and two together, you can't connect yourself, and so that is why we create this platform for us, so we can just have a dialogue, so we can now say, that makes sense. Oh shit!
Like today, tonight, that's all I've been saying. Eureka! I could have had a V8, y'all. What y'all know about that one? I'm gonna get that one too, Chan. Have a time. I could have had a V8. Let's wrap this up with another quote from the book. Again, I'm begging y'all, please.
I'm there.
I ain't even lying, y'all. If we could even just, I would be willing to do a book club around this book right here. Again, it is called Imperial Leather by none other than the illustrious Dr. Annie McClintock. I said Annie is Anne McClintock. So let me just one last one, okay? And she says, at one level, the representation of the land as female is a traumatic trope, occurring almost invariably, I suggest, in the aftermath of male boundary confusion, but as a historical, not archetypal strategy of containment, but as the visible trace of paranoia. Feminizing the land is a compensatory gesture, disavowing male loss of boundary by reinscribing a ritual of excess of boundary, accompanied all too often by excess, a la military violence. That's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
This is a real psychological cookie for me. This is like, man, that's a high.
Hey, this woman right here, this human. I don't even want to call her a woman. You know,
Yeah.
This human right here. I'm telling you now. Like I said, you know, it ain't for the faint at heart.
Right.
But if you guys wonder why I act the way I act, I'm very like I'm just saying. I don't even know what to say. I'm just existing.
And I like her use of words, because at that point you can start mapping the ideology of what she's talking about, because when she says trope, and trope is a word that is used for people who love excess. But that's where that's a trophy.
Right. And she says at one level, the representation of the land as female is a traumatic trope, occurring almost invariably. Who say a trope? Dude, her words alone, this woman, she gave much thought about her observation, and it gets so we cannot go through the whole book, so I'm just gonna kind of like flip through some stuff. But when I tell you, my brother and I, we was on this book for like a month. And like I said, that first, I can't make it up. I don't want to read the first paragraph because I want you guys to read it for yourself. But I'm just gonna say, I ain't gonna even say that either, because my mother.
One thing I want to draw you guys' attention to: put the cover up again.
Here we go. Hold on. She says, put the cover up again. Hold on. Imperial leather. Now, this book is on you can download this book, as you can see. Whoops, I have it. And let me just say how I came across this book, right? When I was doing research for my book, What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon, and I got to the part about soap. And they was talking about how they would make soap, and because they could wash away the blackness like ivory soap. And I said, what the hell? So it was this picture, right? And when I said, well, where did they get this picture from? It came from her book. And that's how I went down the rabbit hole. So tell us about the cover of this book.
It's an interesting picture, because I want you guys to, they're in a brothel kind of picture.
I didn't even notice that.
Right? And what is really, because in terms of that particular era, keeping clean is really something Europeans had to learn, right? And that was part of the whole myth that cleanliness is next to godliness, because Africans always had a natural relationship with the environment, to the point where hygiene was not an issue. But I want you guys to pay attention to their feet. That is the nature of high heels. In fashion, males created shoes like that to keep women from running away.
You know what? I got to go tonight. I would like to thank y'all so much.
Yeah, look at the...
Lord Jesus, I can't take it.
Right. Those feet are strapped to those things because heels kept women from running away fast. Heels are not a feminine invention. But
you better work. I'm gay now. You better work that boo. Snap, baby. Zone snap and Z formation. You better go. You better get it. Slay it. What are you saying to Kilolo about them heels?
Yeah, well, the history of fashion, and all cosmetologists should have a history class in fashion. But that's the history of heels. Heels are not a feminine, or women did not invent those. Those were invented by males. Even in the geisha culture in Japan, the restricting of the feet is akin to ownership, is to keep them from escaping. But I don't know if Miss McClintock even addresses, because I don't know if this is a book about fashion, but even Jeffrey Jones does it very well. But those shoes, these women are in captivity. I know they may look like they are happy, but you can tell just by their feet that they are in captivity.
I mean, I didn't even. I downloaded the book. Juju said she got the PDF. Baby, I'm here to tell you. Like Shan said, it will. I promise you. This is something.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Like if I was a mother, if I had a daughter, right? If I had a daughter, I'm gonna tell you right now, sweetheart. And my sons are grown. But my son, he already knows about the book because y'all know Mama Dodo, right? Read this goddamn book. I'm just saying. But you must. I mean, it's not many books I would push, and I don't know what to say to that. I'm just saying, you know how I say eat the cake, anime? Get the book, anime. Get the book, and y'all cut this nonsense out, and it's gonna help you guys. It's so empowering. I mean, like I said, I'm a human. I don't even. But anywho, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We are going to be back here on Monday. Monday is April Fool's Day. And so we're going to go ahead on and pull out the top 5 jokes of hair, skin, and nails, which is at random. We'll find some funny stuff and talk about why they are a joke, okay? Not to be offensive, but to go ahead on and give you the pure and unadulterated truth on America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. Again, this is our 29th episode, and it is all about hair, mythology, and Afro cosmetology. And I would like to give you, Cheryl, if I could give you a standing ovation, I would, but I will most certainly give you a super duper round of applause. You are absolutely dynamic. This one, if you just came in at the end, go ahead on and rewind this and watch it again, because Cheryl has dropped so many nuggets in the chat. It's definitely worth watching again. There's so much to learn here on this platform. It's absolutely I'm with you, WK. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, right here. That is interesting. When we come back here next week on this platform, Planet Pluto Pseudo, April showers, right, brings May flowers. So we're going to talk about water.
Good subject.
What is water? What's the good, bad, and ugly of water for hair, skin, and nails? Okay, so we're going to take a deeper dive, and we're going to cover hair, skin, and nails, and this whole thing about water. Okay, so you guys come on back. And again, this is America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. This particular platform is really for your professionals or the hair aficionados. So in other words, this where the nerds hang out. So if you're a nerd, you like books, and you like, oh,
Cosmo nerd. If you a Cosmo nerd,
paper smells so good. Then this it's look at that name, Ernisa. I wonder. Remember that we got Ernisa. Remember that little. We got Wike. We got Julanda. We got Sherion. We have Luana and Nitra. So that's what this podcast
Thanks,
is really
sisters.
all
I
about.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So Cheryl, close
Thank you.
us out. T-shirt alert! Cosmo nerd. Cheryl, can we get that?
We can get.
And I want another T-shirt. You ready, Juju? Y'all ready for this one? I want a T-shirt that says "The Power of the P."
Well, shit. Prince got. I think Prince has the song. Prince called it "Pussy Power."
Okay, the power of the P.
Prince
Okay,
had
okay, well, you know Prince. Okay, well, we just gonna have to buy. She said definitely a T-shirt, Cosmo Nerd. That's what's going down. We're gonna get those ready for you guys. She says she's with it. So sure, close us out on this wonderful topic of hair, mythology, Afro cosmetology. Oh, everybody's wanting a T-shirt now. Okay, so sure, the press is on you to get us some Cosmo Nerd T-shirts.
No doubt.
I'm joking about the power of the P. I don't want to make people think I'm all sexist and shit, you know. I'm just joking. That's about the power of the P.
Well, I'm gonna close with you guys. If you guys can find it. We have the book, but I want you guys to embrace a wonderful man named Dr. Charles Finch.
Oh, yes.
Dr. Charles Finch. And he has a very good lecture, and I have been a fan.
Is that Finch, F-E-N or F-I-N?
F-I-N-C-H. Mm-hmm. And he has Goddess, the mother goddess. Look for that lecture.
It's called The Mother Goddess?
Or the Queen of Heaven.
Oh.
She's called many things. But the key here is to get us out of the male gender issue, because we never split that. They were essence and states of being. And I know Europe personified it and created something weird. Anywho, but Sheikh Anta Diop, Dr. Charles Finch was a student of Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop. Okay. And he gives this perspective of northern cradles versus southern cradle. The southern cradle is actually upper. Okay. Right. Okay. And it is normally feminine in terms of the land, in terms of resources. And it's not akin to gender like westernized thinkers. We think westernized. Anywho, but northern cradles are very Republican and conservative, and me and my privatization, capitalization, manipulation and seduction, and things of that nature, of how they took resources from the feminine essence and turned them masculine. But anyway, but the point is that when you listen to this, he will give you the anthropologic references of endogenous, which means natural from inside, not indigenous. Don't get into that. That's just the study of natural things in a particular portion of the world. Anyway, but it's a good, it's also just put it on, clean your house, and you're going to be just like this book. You're going to be rewinding it and rewinding it.
So this is something that you can listen to right here on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, so guys, go to YouTube and you can go to the search and you're going to look for Dr. Charles Finch.
And after that, your ass going to really be dealing with all his videos. Dr. Charles Finch is a great colleague, and he's a treat. And you guys will probably say, you're going to be like, Oh
Yeah,
man.
I'll tell you, this was probably one of the most dynamic podcasts that we have done so far. And I just want to say to everybody in the chat and everybody who's watching us post the live here on Facebook and YouTube, how much we appreciate you all for being very open. The information that we are sharing with you guys, it's not the norm. It's not your regular, it's not your rigmarole, not knocking status quo, but it's just something to be said about the truth coming from the people who actually, take the time to study it and give it to us pure and unadulterated. That's sourced so you guys can go and vet and check them for yourselves. It's really important that you guys get that, okay? So we will be back here on Monday at 6 o'clock, 12:30 for the cosmetology students. And then we'll be back here at 6 o'clock for you guys. And then again on Thursday. So you guys have a wonderful evening. And you know what we say when we are signing off, right? It's all about good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. And I want you guys to have a wonderful night. Y'all go and listen to some Dr. Finch. Go ahead and listen to it before y'all go to bed. Like I said, y'all getting ready for the night.
And we're gonna get those winners their combs and stuff.
Oh, they already sent off. She's got them. Yeah, everybody's got their goods. We've all sent them off. That's what we do.
That's why you do have the hemp combs.
Don't wait, congratulate. Tell her, Shan, we already did that. Lena already been taken care of. Selena came and got her nail polished. So that's how it's going down. We always have goodies. You guys have a wonderful night. Please share. Y'all bring some of y'all cousins in to the chat with us, okay? You guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night.
Welcome to Planet Pluto.